Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to my world. Welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and this is the Thursday edition of Talk Leadership with Cedrick. I'm excited that you're here with us tonight. You know, Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership, personal growth, and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. Our guiding leadership principle is the law of contribution, which says growing yourself enables you to grow others. See, you can't give what you don't have. So first, you must grow yourself in order to grow others. And we believe that outstanding leaders like yourself help us to help others. So tonight, folks, we have another dynamic leader with us. I'm excited to have her here. You know, April is Women Empowerment Month on Talk Leadership with Cedrick. So all of our guests are women who are making an impact in their communities, in their jobs, and just in society. So today we have Miss Shaalom St. Mary, the principal at Oak Park Elementary School. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm excited to have you here. So let me tell you a little bit about Shaalom. Shaalom is a native of Lake Charles, Louisiana. She is the daughter of Miss Gaynell Clemens and the late Paul Skinner. She and her older sister, Tanyetta Clemens, were lovingly raised by their mother. Miss St. Mary was educated right in Calcasieu Parish school system. She graduated from Washington Marion, so she's a charging Indian. She attended University of Southwestern Louisiana, now known as University of Louisiana at Lafayette, before transferring to McNeese State University, where she graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Child and Family Studies and early childhood education. She also got a master's degree in early childhood education and 30 hours in administration and supervision. Shaalom, like I said, is the principal at Oak Park Elementary, and she is also active in her community. She is not only in her local church, which is Immaculate Heart of St. Mary, right?
Immaculate Heart of Mary.
Yeah, Immaculate Heart of Mary. You're St. Mary. Immaculate Heart of Mary. But she is also a 22-year member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And she currently serves as the chapter vice president. So, folks, we have that pink and green with us tonight.
Yes.
She's also a member of Top Ladies of Distinction and the Junior League of Lake Charles. And at her church, she serves as the Women's Act retreat. She serves on the Women's Act retreat team. And I'm excited to have you here tonight. So Miss St. Mary is married to Joseph St. Mary of 23 years?
Yes, sir.
And she is the mother of 3 sons, Nicholas, who is at LSU, and Jacob and Ethan. So we're excited to have you on the show tonight.
Well, thank you for having me.
Awesome. You know, I read your bio and your background, but let's talk a little bit about your career path to help the audience understand your career path because you didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm principal at Oak Park Elementary, right?
No.
So that was a journey. And so let's talk about your journey. So where did you start teaching and how did you get to Oak Park Elementary?
Well, even before I started teaching, believe it or not, I actually went to college because I wanted to be an attorney. I had an aunt and an uncle who are both attorneys, and going to college, that's what I went to college to do. I wanted to be an attorney. And then I took one education class and it just ignited a passion. I transferred to McNeese and I changed my major and became a teacher, which is following in the family bloodline. My grandmother, my great grandmother, my great aunt were all educators. So I was just keeping the family business alive, I guess. Um, but I started off teaching at Ralph Wilson Elementary under the leadership of Miss Esther Vincent, and that was just a great experience. I taught kindergarten there. Then my next principal was Miss Dwayne's Kim Broussard, and she convinced me to teach second grade, which I didn't want to. One thing, I don't like change. I taught kindergarten successfully, and she was just like, I need you to teach second. I was like, oh, I don't want to teach second, but I did it. I was obedient. And then after teaching second grade, an opportunity came along to be what was called a master teacher, which would be working with other teachers and supporting teachers. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't ever want to leave the classroom. And so it took my supervisor, my principal, and a good friend to get me to apply. And so from there, I went to Convery Fondell under the leadership of Harold Winey, and I was a master teacher there for 3 years. And then Mr. Winey convinced me that I should be an assistant principal because I had the credentials. And I was like, oh, no, Mr. Winey, I'm not sure. And he pushed, and he was like, you can do it, St. Mary. And so with his guidance, I did do that for a few years. And then I moved to Oak Park Elementary as the assistant principal working with Miss Melinda Hardy. And then she got a promotion. So she was like, all right, Miss St. Mary, let's get it. I need you to apply. And it was like, okay. So yeah, so my journey definitely to principalship, I was never one of those people that just dreamed of one day being a principal. At my heart, I always dreamed of being in the classroom and that I would retire from the classroom. So my love is the classroom, and I think it shows in my leadership style because I'm always going back to being the kind of principal I wanted when I was a teacher. And I had a lot of great role models to show me the way.
Awesome. I love that you said, hey, you want to model what you wanted as a teacher when you were what you wanted out of teacher. So that's awesome. So what's the most fun part about being the principal at Oak Park Elementary?
The greatest thing is my students. The students at Oak Park are the best. I love the kids. I love my staff. I love going to work every day. I never regret saying, oh, I never said, oh, I got to go to work today. I'm always happy to go. And the best part is really just seeing the kids. They're the best. They are always happy to see me, or at least they appear to be. Hugs and love. So it always makes it worthwhile.
Well, that is awesome, and I will say that you have the best students, elementary students. I'm in your school. Well, before COVID, a lot, but we'll get back to that. And you do have great students, and I always like working with your staff as well. So awesome. I know you have goals for what you want Oak Park Elementary to. Where you want them to go and to be. So let's talk a little bit about, what are some of the goals you have for students and staff at Oak Park Elementary?
Just my biggest goal for all of my students is that I want them to be productive members of society. So, I want them to be well-rounded. I want them to be articulate. I want them to be critical thinkers and have comprehension of not only book smart, but the world around them. So that's my goal for them each and every day. And for my staff, I want them to be the best educator possible. So that means I want them constantly engaging in professional development so that they can improve their craft, so that eventually one day they won't be with me anymore. Because I want it to be a continuous cycle of them improving, and then the next batch coming, we nurture them, and that's what I want. That's my goal.
You're gonna keep pushing them out of the nest, sort of like people were pushing you out of the nest.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, that's always fun, and one of the things, and you mentioned this just a few minutes ago with your staff, is about professional development. So, and you've had me in to do some professional development around leadership with your team. Why is that important?
I think it's so important because, when people hear leadership, they automatically equate that with being a boss. But leadership is about growth and being able to guide others to better your profession. And so, of course, as teachers, I want my teachers to be the best of the best. So I want them to have all the skills and knowledge so that they can be the best educator possible. So that's why I push them for leadership.
Awesome. And then that's that part that helps them get out that nest and grow and do things. I absolutely love that. So, you know, the whole world had to deal with COVID, right? We weren't given a choice if we're going to deal with it or not, right? So how did you guys handle that adversity of COVID at Oak Park?
Well, at Oak Park, not only did we have COVID, but we had 2 hurricanes as well. So we were just excited in August to be in the building because we hadn't been in the building since March altogether, and we were prepared with all the safety protocols to make sure everything was in place. And then Hurricane Laura hit, and so then we got further delayed. And then just when we were getting the all clear to come back, Hurricane Delta hit, and so many of my staff was displaced. I still have some displaced staff, but the beautiful thing was we came together and said, whatever we have to do for our students is what matters. My oldest staff member is 81 years old, and she drove in from Lafayette to every day up until February because she was displaced. She never complained, and she was always one of the first ones there. Every day.
But I know who she is because she is always so nice.
Yeah, so that just kind of shows you what kind of staff we have. And so we just pull together and whatever we have to do, and by any means necessary. And that's kind of our motto. So,
awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I know that, you know, dealing with COVID is one thing, but then to have 2 back-to-back hurricanes and people being displaced for that it is a big charge. So Oak Park Elementary, let's talk about the school, some of the programs that you guys have there. So you have you are a Spanish immersion school, and not everybody understands what a Spanish immersion school is. I mean, you had to educate me on what it is, right? So help our audience understand. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because maybe people live right in Oak Park, don't even know that you're a Spanish immersion school, right? Help them understand what it is and how much of an asset it is to the school to be a Spanish immersion school.
Right. So we're one of only 2 schools in Lake Charles that offer Spanish immersion. So the thing of Spanish immersion is it's a program for native English speakers. So that's always the first misconception. People think the students already know to speak Spanish. No, these are native English speakers who learn Spanish as a second language, but not just as a second language. They get immersed in the language, which means their math, science, and social studies. It's all in Spanish. So when these kids come in kindergarten, the teachers will still speak a little English as they're getting them adjusted. And in first grade, we'll speak a little less English. But by second grade, the teachers speak to them completely in Spanish. The students respond completely in Spanish, and everything is done in Spanish. So by third grade, they're pretty fluent in Spanish, able to speak it, read it, and write it. So it's just a wonderful opportunity to have students at this young age to be able to speak more than one language. Yeah. So we're always looking for, in fact, we're registering students right now for our Spanish immersion program for the upcoming year, because we do test them in kindergarten, just not a pass-fail, just for their readiness to see how their listening skills and their language skills, and that gives us a baseline for the program. But if a parent is interested, and the students don't test well, but the parent has an interest and is willing to sign a contract of what else they'll do to support the student while in the program, then we also will allow those students in the program as well. But we do try to start them off at kindergarten so that we can get a large kindergarten class, and then they stay together through 5th grade, and then they can carry on at Oak Park Middle and now LaGrange High School. So they can be in Spanish immersion from kindergarten through 12th grade.
Wow. So then, since they test into this, does the student have to live in Oak Park area to go to?
No, any student is eligible, because you can get an out of zone permit for the Spanish immersion program.
Wow. See, folks, the stuff that you learn right here. I mean, I remember seeing the sign up, but I didn't know what it meant, right? So I
Right.
had to get educated on it. So I'm sure that there's someone that's out there that may pass by Oak Park Elementary all the time and see their sign out there, but not know what it means. Now you know what it means, so that if you want your child to be prepared for the future, this is an opportunity for them to be prepared for the future because, like it or not, folks, Spanish is going to be a primary language here in the United States forever,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Well, that is that's awesome. So when those students do they ever take any other classes that are English, or it's totally
They take reading is in English. And
okay?
if they're testing grade third, fourth, or fifth, their LEAP test, of course, is in English.
Okay,
Everything else is in Spanish.
that is phenomenal, folks. So, excuse me. Tell us one or two things that you love about your staff and your team.
Oh, I could talk all day about my staff. I absolutely love them. I love their compassion. We are a Title I school, which means, some of our students come to us lacking some resources, but we don't let that be an excuse or a limitation for our students. We encourage them and we push them to excel. But my teachers walk the fine balance between being empathetic and not too sympathetic and still holding them to the fire, because just because we're a Title I school doesn't mean we get any less regulations. The bar is the same for us as any other school, and so we hope.
Say that again, because you see, a lot of times people think that Title I school will going to lower the bar and lower the expectations. Say that again.
No, yes, a Title I school, the bar is the same level for us as any other school, and so we push our students to that same level. We want our students to perform just as well at Oak Park as they would at T.S. Cooley Magnet School. So we hold, and so that's what I love about my staff. We don't take excuses. And in fact, we have a banner that hangs in our hall. It says, "No excuses, just results." And that's really how we feel. We can make excuses all day for why things aren't where we want them to be, but we don't have time for that. And so we have to keep going. And so I have the best staff possible in times like this, because they have led the students with courage and compassion and have held them to a high standard. So I'm very, very proud of my staff.
Awesome. I love that, and I love the banner. When next time I'm there, I'm gonna take a picture of that banner because I love that. No excuses, just results, folks. You
Right.
see, what I want to make sure that people get on the St. Mary and understand is sometimes we will put labels on schools.
Right.
And then we think that we don't hold students to certain things and that we just let them get away and that we're just passing them along in the process. And I want people to get that about Oak Park Elementary, that Oak Park Elementary is no excuses, folks, just results. Right?
Exactly.
Absolutely love that. So if you had to say something, let me ask you this way. If there was something that or someone was thinking about being a teacher, and right now they're on the cuffs of saying, yeah, I'm going to go ahead with it, or no, I'm not going to go ahead with it. Yeah, well, I want to go make money doing this, or I don't want to do this. What would you say to that person that is struggling whether they want to be a teacher or not?
I would tell that person, if they're struggling and if finances is their ultimate deciding factor, then teaching is not for them. Because it's definitely where there's a saying that always says teachers are in it for the outcome, not the income. And that is so true. So you have to have a heart for students. You have to be willing to work hard. You have to be willing to go the extra mile. And you have to realize that sometimes you're not going to be compensated for all the extra things that you do, but your reward is in your students. The best out of them. So if someone is struggling and they're thinking about, well, I won't make money, if that's a deciding factor, then teaching isn't for you. But if you're truly invested and want to see and have a hand in developing the next generation of leaders for this country, then teaching is for you.
I love it. I love what you just said. You need to make a shirt of this, and you need to get this copyrighted now, right? Your reward is in your students.
Right.
I love that. That's a great shirt. To be so. One of your friends and one of my Facebook friends is Desiree. Hey, we need a shirt that says your reward is in your students. I absolutely love that. You've given us some good nuggets tonight. I'm going to be using this in our Wave Youth Leadership program. So, the law of curiosity says growth is stimulated by asking why. So, in other words, ask more questions, right? As a leader in a school, how do you come up with great questions to ask either a student or your teachers?
A few years ago, we were in zone school, and Dr. Jackson took the principals to Harvard, and we went to Harvard University for a week. And one of the things there we did was a root cause analysis, and so you had to present a case of something going on in your school, and the whole bottom line was to get to the root cause. And all they kept asking us was why, and so you're like, why? I mean, I don't know why. But the more we did it, you really did know why. You just had to keep digging deeper. And so I learned from that the power of why. That is the most powerful question you can ask a student or a teacher. Why? Why isn't this working? Why don't you get why? And if you keep asking why and the students and you keep pushing, eventually you'll get to the root cause.
Yes.
So that's the best question.
Okay. Awesome. I like that. And in some of the leadership development training we do, we say it's called 7 levels deep, and you ask that why. 7 levels deep, and man, you do get to the root cause. Sometimes you pull out stuff in people that they didn't realize that was like buried with them, right? And just for folks that are out there listening, sometimes it works on your spouse too. Just keep asking why. My wife's not watching, so she's
you don't get yourself in trouble now.
Sometimes in leadership development, we go to different training programs. Sometimes in leadership development, we learn different strategies and different tools. What would you say is something that, from a leadership development standpoint, you learned that really helps you now in making some decisions that you make in your school?
To listen more, to do active listening, don't listen to respond, but actively listening and taking in concerns, questions, and I think that helps me to make the best decisions, because as a leader, they always assume you have all the answers. The best leader is the one that knows that you don't always have the best answers. You don't always have the answer. But if you actively listen and figure out exactly what they're asking and what they need, then you can better serve them. But so many times we're just listening to respond, and they come to us and they want to know something, and you just sprouting out. So I've learned to be an active listener. And so sometimes I don't answer them right away. I tell them, okay, I'm listening. And I always get back to them, but I've released myself of the pressure of feeling like I have to have all the answers right here, right now.
Awesome.
It's made me a better leader.
Yes, I absolutely love that. And that is definitely true. So leaders out there, you can take advantage of that as well. That active listening just makes all the difference in the world. So, I have people that are watching now, and some are going to be watching later as this replays again later tonight. They're in the youth development space, and they go into schools like I do, and they just love adding value to students. But what are 1 or 2 things that they need to do or understand before going to a principal to say, hey, I want to come into your building and add value to your students?
The first thing they need to do is meet with the school building principal and find out what is the goal and vision that the principal would have for the partnership. What would be the outcome that the principal would want for the students, and to find out how much time and investment they can give. Because students like to know that too. They want to know, how often are you coming? When are you coming back? You know that for yourself. If you had a scheduled time that the kids knew, every time you left, they still want to know, when you coming back, Mr. LaFleur? Because they just want that accountability. And so that's the greatest thing, just to have a clear vision of what you bring to the table and how much you're willing to give of yourself.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, they definitely ask that. And if you miss, they ask you, well, what happened to you last time? Right. And at the high school level, they'll normally say, well, we asked that because a lot of times people come in and they're here for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and then they go away.
Right.
And they don't want that level of disappointment anymore. So yeah, I absolutely love going to Oak Park. And we had, before COVID hit, we had the Millionaire Boys Mentoring Program. And I'm excited this fall we're going to bring the Wave Youth Leadership there. So what impact do you think these programs have on school culture and student experience?
It brings about a positive school culture. It helps the kids to realize that they have more options than they realize. A lot of times kids are closed off. They only know of the things that they see. But when someone comes in and shows them other opportunities, other avenues, it opens them up to being open to exploring new things that they never thought about. So just seeing people do things that they aren't familiar with. So it just gives them choices. It gives them hope.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, you had some really bright kids there. And one thing I found out that fifth graders are a little bit more active than I thought.
Yes.
But the other thing was they soak up information, and I'll see some of your students now out somewhere and they will mention something, right, that maybe my old mind forgot about that we did. And they mentioned those type things. So to me, that shows the power of the impact that you guys bring to students, because they remember that type of stuff and they soak it up. So we have to be careful when we go in that we say things that are going to be positive in nature and adding value to them versus subtracting value from them.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, we had Millionaire Boys Mentoring, and we did have a girls program. And so we have Millionaire Girls Mentoring, and it's because of your students. I remember walking through the hallway after a session, and it was like 3 or 4 little girls cornered me. And they said, hey, we have a question for you. And I said, yeah, sure. He said, why do you not have a Millionaire Girls Mentoring program? I was like, okay. So from that's how Millionaire Girls Mentoring really got started, because I said, we're going to do it. Then obviously everything fell apart. And so this fall, we're going to be bringing that to the district as well. But I just want you to know it's because of your students. That's why we have that program.
That's great. It made me very happy when they told me they asked you about it, especially because, a lot of times we still have people that believe, the old adage, kids should be seen and not heard. But they have a voice. And especially for girls to speak up and be okay with asking, why don't you have this for us? So I was proud of them. So I was like, use your voice, girl power.
Yeah, they definitely did. I was cornered right there in that hallway. Like, I'm not going anywhere, so I give them an answer. So, well, that's awesome. I love it. And I love that they want to know more and learn more and do more, right? Because a lot of times especially in Black and Brown communities, we think that they don't really want more. So that shows totally the opposite. So I absolutely love it. So, we have a segment on here that's called Would You Rather, right? So we're going to play a little round of Would You Rather. It's actually pretty easy. So would you rather meet your great grandparents or your great grandchildren?
Oh, my great-grandchildren.
Grandchildren. All right. Would you rather have a life rewind button or a life pause button?
Rewind, so I could spend more time with my grandmother.
Okay. All right. Would you rather know all the world's languages or speak with animals?
All the world languages. I don't want to talk to the animals.
Would you rather be stuck in an elevator or stuck on a ski lift?
Elevator.
Elevator. Yeah, me too. Because that ski lift, I'm afraid of heights, and that's a little bit too high for me. So, would you rather pick the year that you die or pick the way that you die?
The way that I die.
The way. All right.
Peacefully in my sleep.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Couple more here. Would you rather own a private island or own a private jet?
Private jet.
Private jet. All right. Would you rather be a ninja or be a pirate?
I have to pick one of them.
Yeah.
My answer would be neither, but I guess a ninja.
A ninja? Yeah, see, I like to be the ninja because the ninja is the one to get to throw the star at people. And all right, last one. Would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
How much in gift cards?
1 million in gift cards or $100,000 in real money.
I think I better take real money so I can invest.
Okay, all right. See, I say I'm gonna take that Amazon gift card because I'm already spending enough money on Amazon now.
Yeah, but see, I probably would order all kind of things I didn't need.
Well, thank you for playing that round of Would You Rather. So what's one thing now that you wish that you had known when you first got started?
I wish I had known that sometimes being a leader is a lonely job. Like, you just think it's glamorous and happy all the time, but sometimes it can be lonely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know that then I could prepare for it. I was prepared for it. Then when it hit, like, what?
Yeah. Why nobody's talking to me over here? So I know sometimes, you have, we try to have up days as much as we can, right? But sometimes we all go through that and we have a down day and we get down on ourselves for whatever. So what do you do to pick yourself up?
Oh, go into the classrooms. Go spend some more time in the classroom, especially like kindergarten. Oh, who can be down with you bunch of 5-year-olds that sing and dance all day long? It's the best thing ever.
That is true. They definitely sing and dance, and yeah, I don't know how they. And I know we had that energy too as a kid, but it's just like, man. So what absolutely excites you right now?
Just that the possibilities are limitless. Just everything is wide open. You know, that we push our students to do anything, be anything. The world is new for them.
Yeah, and they can be anything that they want to be,
Right.
as long as they put in the work and the effort for it. Right.
Definitely.
Awesome. So if someone in the leadership development space, the youth space, called you and they said, "Hey, I want to come into your school." I know we talked a little bit earlier about something that they should do, but what's something that they need to be careful that they don't do so that they get kicked out of your school?
Just first, before doing anything, just contact me, contact the principal, and let's set up a meeting first. And that's it, because the only thing will get you kicked out if you do harm to children. But if you're there with pure hearts, pure emotions, you'll be fine. Just always contact the principal first so you can get on even keel.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, folks that are out there in that youth leadership development space, you heard it from the principal. What things you need to, what do you need to do to not get kicked out of the building? If you haven't, if you weren't listening earlier, you can go back and listen. She talked about what things you need to do to when you call her to get in her building. So, the law of environment says growth thrives in conducive environments, right? Or conducive surroundings. Give our audience 2 or 3 things that you do to help your team grow and develop.
First of all, just always keeping them aware of what's going on, what's the latest trends in education, meeting with them, just always keeping them knowledgeable. If I know something, I share it with them. It's nothing that I know that I don't share with my staff, because we don't grow if I have all the knowledge. I firmly believe in sharing the knowledge with my staff, and so that we can grow as a team. So that's definitely the most important thing we do. And then not this year, because we just have had enough. And I just felt like I didn't want to put anything else on their plates, but things that we have done in the past is we do like book studies on particular things like that, and just ongoing PD. So those are the things that I concentrate on with my staff for growth.
Excuse me. Awesome. Well, yeah, book studies are always good and can be fun for growth, because I love them in that they help. I like to hear the ideas that someone else picked up from a book, right?
Right.
So I hear it one way, and all of a sudden they hear it and see it a totally different way.
Right.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So now nobody's home. It's just you and your 4 walls.
Mm-hmm.
What dessert are you gonna eat?
What dessert? Strawberry shortcake.
Strawberry shortcake. Okay. All right. All right. So if you had to look at Oak Park Elementary, let's say you're looking at it from the 30,000-foot view, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had all power. You could say, boom, I can change any one thing at Oak Park Elementary. What would that one thing be?
Oh, that's so hard, because what I want to change is some of the things that impact my students outside of school would be the thing I would want to change. But if I could, really, I don't think I would change anything within Oak Park Elementary, honestly, because I feel like we have the right people at the right time for our students. So I feel like we're where we need to be, and I'm expecting great things from my school. So looking down right now, I wouldn't change anything necessarily about Oak. But if I had all the power and I could change, I would definitely want to change some things just about the community in which my students, attend. We don't have any grocery stores in the area anymore. We don't have a garden to teach the kids about, healthy eating. So those would be the type of things that I'd like to change.
Yes, and I'm glad you said that, because that's one of the reasons why I asked that question, is because it's important for civic leaders, city administrators to hear what things impacts a school. And you hear right from a principal, hear things that could impact her students in a positive way. One, being able to have grocery stores in the neighborhood is going to help their entire family, but being able to have the farming communities grow fresh vegetables teaches kids about this subsistence, right? Lifestyle, and being able to provide for themselves, and to grow a garden, and healthy living and healthy eating and all that type stuff. So I know that we have some, from time to time, we'll have city administrators, public officials that'll listen to the show. So I'm glad that's why I asked that question, because they need to hear what things can impact the community, so they can work on those things. So I know you said, hey, you're not doing a book club right now for the school because of all the other stuff that's been happening. But is there a particular book that you're reading right now that you want to share with the audience?
Yes. I'm reading Leverage Leadership with some other. I'm doing a book study with some other principals. So it's all about building systems within your school to achieve greatness. So leverage leadership. But I think the principles in the book could be applied to anybody that wants to better their life or on their current job. So even though it's geared toward school leaders, it's applicable to other. So it's a great read. Really makes you reflect and look at some systems you have in place and how you can make changes.
Awesome. Leverage leadership. Actually, I'm gonna check that book out because I'm always doing book studies, so I'm gonna actually check that book out myself to see what it's all about. Awesome. Thank you for that. So if someone, that doesn't matter who they are, not necessarily in the leadership development space, but if someone wanted to, they hear this interview and they want to visit Oak Park Elementary, they want to come in, they want to volunteer at the school. How do they do that?
Just email me to set up an appointment.
Awesome. Awesome. Look at that, folks. Simple and easy. It's not complex. It's not hard. It's not difficult. Just boom. Email the principal and set up an appointment so you can talk about getting into their school and volunteering. And can you guys use more volunteers?
Always. Always.
I don't think I've heard any principal ever say, no, we don't need any more volunteers. So that is awesome. If there was a book that was written about Shaalom St. Mary, right, what would the title be? And what would the summary in the back of the book say about you?
The title would be She Gave It Her All.
I like that.
And the summary would be read about a little girl from Lake Charles, Louisiana, who gave 100% to everything she did.
Awesome. And I'm going to add something in there. A little girl from Lake Charles who gave 100% everything that she did, but also jumped outside her comfort zone.
Yes. Yes, you definitely have me way out of my comfort zone over here tonight.
It's amazing. It's been awesome too. You're doing great in this, and help our audience learn more about Oak Park Elementary, learn more about you as well. So what's your favorite sports team?
The Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, that's right, because you're a diehard
LeBron James, yes.
Okay, all right. So the minute he leaves and go play for the Celtics, then you're gonna be a Celtics fan.
Oh yes, because I'm definitely a wherever he is fan. I've been in Cleveland, Miami, back to Cleveland, on to the Lakers.
Awesome. And they're definitely he's a you know what I like about LeBron? It's really all of the off-court stuff that he does. And he has an opportunity. He could just sit back on his money and do whatever he wants with it for himself and his family. But he's doing something that's making a difference, being significant.
Right.
And that's what I really love about LeBron James and the stuff that he's doing. I'm not a Lakers fan. I am a LeBron James fan because I'm a diehard Celtics fan. But don't say it like that. He said, "Oh, okay."
Well, I think that is the biggest rivalry in all sports.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's doing some wonderful things around the world, really, with the gifts and talents that he has. So I love that. All right. So one final question: if you had you had to pick your favorite vacation spot, what is it and why?
Turks and Caicos. It's beautiful and relaxing.
Turks and Caicos. All right.
Yes.
Beautiful and relaxing. All right. That's your getaway spot. So on that, you said a private jet, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that private jet.
That's where I'm gonna go.
So when y'all looking for Shaalom, just know where she's going to be.
Yes.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, I want to tell you what, I really appreciate you accepting my challenge to come on the show and be a guest on the show. And not really a challenge, but an invite really to be on the show. And I'm excited that you decided to come on. And I know that you've added value to our audience with what you said. I know that you've also helped people understand what and who Oak Park Elementary is. Because I guarantee you there are some people that didn't know that you guys had a Spanish immersion program. There's some people that didn't know how to get into Oak Park Elementary just because they never asked. They may have thought about it, but they never asked. And then also some of the things that you guys are doing in the school. And again, I love the banner you guys have up. No excuses, just results, right? That those type of things and messages really helps people understand the type of leader that you are in the school, because you're not accepting. That's not just for students, that's for teachers as well, right?
Right.
So absolutely love that. And again, I appreciate all your support. And folks, if you don't know, Shaalom loves allowing us to come in her school to bring youth development programs to our students. She never says no. Every time we ask to come in and do something in her school, she always says, yes, bring it. And we talk about it and bring it in for her students. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
Yes. I'm always about empowering my students and bettering them. So anything for them, I'm willing to do it. Which is probably the only reason you got me to agree to come on here, because I could talk about my school.
Well, by any means necessary, right?
Right.
So I appreciate you coming on. So here's some people that have commented. Charlene Kennerson says, world's best principal.
Oh, thanks.
And Kyrie Thomas puts her hands up and to you. So again, you're adding value as always to people in the community, and you can tell that they appreciate this. And I'm sure on some of the other pages we have comments as well. But I wanted to again thank you for coming on. So folks, you've been listening to Miss Shaalom St. Mary, the principal at Oak Park Elementary School, and she's talked about at her school's a Title I school, but there is no acceptance of mediocre performance. They have banners in the school that says no excuses, just results. I love the new T-shirt that we're going to be start wearing. It says your result is your result is in your students. So absolutely love that. And Desiree, I'm gonna be waiting on you to put that shirt together now. Oh, so you have a comment here from someone. I think you might know him.
Oh. Yep, I think I do.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Joseph, for tuning in to the show tonight. And folks, if you want to know more about Oak Park Elementary, reach out to Miss St. Mary. She's an awesome principal, and she's always welcoming to have other people to come in her school. So thank you guys very much for tuning in tonight. Totally appreciate you. And as I always tell you, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, and don't be on the menu. Thank you guys, and good night.